I am 200% certain Andrew Tate is about to run. Things are starting to look desperate. In this video, I'll explain all. Has he just made escape attempt 8? New viewers will be thinking, 8? I suggest you go back and watch part 1 and 2. People who've watched 1 and 2 will be thinking, 8? We were only up to 5 last time. That's because an eagle-eyed viewer correctly spotted I'd missed one. Shout out to El Mughal TV, who said, you forgot the time he said he had lung cancer and needed to go to Dubai for treatment, despite Romania having its own hospitals and doctors that could treat him. He was spot on. This was Andrew's fake lung cancer scare from prison. He probably planned to ditch his brother and run, because that's the sort of guy he is. And escape attempts 7 and 8 are in this video, but are they escape attempts? I think something else is going on. So at the end of part 2, I theorised some potential getaway plans. I'd also wrongly reported he was back on house arrest. He actually has to report to the police station in Bucharest every day, which actually gives him a lot of wiggle room to run, as you will see from this video he just published. For anyone who wasn't convinced the escape attempt plan was real, check this out and also pay close attention to the way the guy on this channel reports it. Let's just say street smarts are not his thing. Completely clueless as usual. This is exactly the sort of channel Tate fans get their news from. No wonder they're all so deluded. Is he complicit? Or just Answers in the comments.
So guys, at this point I just feel like the Tate brothers are being terrorized by the police. They was told by a judge in Romania they could travel the whole of Romania, and then when they did, they said actually no, come back to Bucharest. This situation is getting out of hand and apparently they could be getting sent back to jail again, which we'll get into.
So the judge said we're allowed to travel all of Romania, so we left Romania, and then DCOT is now saying that we have to come back today to sign in Bucharest, because if we don't, they're going to put us back in house arrest. I don't know how DCOT can supersede a judge. It doesn't even make sense. So our surveillance officer called us and said, you have to come back right now. So bro, the judge said we can travel all of Romania. Whoa, you have to come back now, you have to come back now. Make it make sense.
We literally drove 6 hours over here. We've been here less than 24 hours. Now we have to drive all the way back.
Yeah. Make it make sense.
Where's T?
It's abusive. DCOT are being abusive because they know they have no case and they're just trying to fuck with us any way that they can. Ay, ay, ay.
Roadmen!
Roadmen, bro. Oh well. Back to Bucharest.
First thing I noticed is Andrew is unusually showing visible signs of stress. Seems very annoyed and is also pacing. I could have missed it, but I almost certainly didn't mention where he was. But he did say he drove 6.5 hours from Bucharest, which, surprise surprise, takes you right to the border. But what are they doing there? Let's continue.
We will get into more of what Andrew said on this, but DCOT have been shady lately. DCOT have contacted multiple witnesses in the Tate brothers case and have told them to inform them if the Tates have contacted them through third parties in case of violation of restrictions set by the judge. They're trying to catch them out, obviously. It says they have been given numbers to contact. They're trying to remand the Tates back into pre-trial detention if they violate any conditions. But rather than just letting the Tate brothers slip up and actually doing something wrong, it's like they're trying to fish for it.
When you're on judicial control in Romania, you typically sign twice a week, maybe once a week. We have to sign every single day. Abusive measures, unprecedented, never done before. But it was no big deal because we were stuck in Bucharest anyway, right? And then the judge said, you can travel all of Romania, but how do you travel all of Romania if you have to sign in Bucharest every single day? Well, we did an agreement that we'll sign at a local police station. No problem. We went away last week, signed at a local police station each day, like we were supposed to, on time, and had absolutely zero problems. We just drove here, it took 6.5 hours to get to this location. This morning we went to sign at a local police station and DCOT said, no, you must return to Bucharest to sign in Bucharest. They're superseding the judge and the judge's decision that we can travel all of Romania, saying that we must sign there. Now, are they doing this because they're concerned we're gonna run away? No. Are they doing this because they want to preserve law and order? No. They're doing this to try and upset me. And the reason they're doing it is because when we went away last week, we made a really cool video of us with the dog sleds in the Carpathian Mountains, and we had a great time. And we put that last night on Rumble. Last night, the prosecutor saw how much fun we have while we're away. And this morning, he calls and demands that we come back to Bucharest. Because even though the judge said we're allowed, because he's that much of a hater. And he's trying to make me frown. But I don't frown. I smile. I may have driven 6.5 hours to get here and wake up the next day and drive 6.5 hours home, but I get to drive 6.5 hours in this. You understand? All the brokies who hate on me in the system can't afford one of these. This is great. So I still win. But I guess, you know, the system's abusive. But it's not just Romania, all systems are. So it's been a relatively short trip. But I'm pretty excited to drive my car again. So all in all, smiles all around.
Here is the actual dog sledding footage from last week.
Dog sled Aikido. Marcel's coming to Louisiana, we're going to do some redneck shit.
This week he's at the border, somewhere else. Anyone watching know where that owl statue is? Well, these Romanian police were told this guy is blatantly getting ready to run. But hang on a minute. Andrew's just disclosed he posted the footage of the dog sledding. He even mentioned the name of the mountain range. I know he's Mr. Self-Snitch, but I think this is all a bit too obvious. He's trying to intentionally lead investigators down a false path. It's just a bit too obvious. Mentioning the distance you drove and the big owl in the background. Posting dog sled footage in mountains. My guess is, as the Romanians keep allowing him to roam the country, he's going to test their defences and see what happens. When he gets near the border, for instance, and keep test running potential escapes until he settles on one. All these false alarms also create doubt when the real thing comes. He only gets one real attempt after all, so he has to get it right, or it's prison. Game over. This very recent little bit of interview this street smart genius Facifier's added also tells you a lot. I always say Andrew gives away the game in his interviews when you read between the lines. This little story he tells is him essentially backing out of his "we're confident we will be found innocent and have full confidence in the Romanian justice system." He's now laying the foundations for "this is why I ran."
Tristan Tate has said, yeah, my prosecutor did this and basically didn't give a shit. And Andrew Tate also put out a tweet saying, people have dirty laundry all over the timeline. I've been investigated by 3 federal agencies for 4 years. Dirty laundry, old YouTube videos, cleaner than the rest. Trust me, 99% of those up here are compromised, but not me. Make money, raise my kids and pray to God. Done. They are trying their hardest to put the Tate brothers back in jail right now. Tate News has said Romanian police are trying to find out whether or not the Tates violated their obligations set by the judge. They might be trying to remand Andrew and Tristan back into jail. Andrew Tate recently told the untold story of the day he got sent to jail for 93 days. I've seen the file, I've read the file. You're going home is what he was told by the lawyers. It's scary how corrupt these systems truly are.
When I first went to jail, I thought I'd only be there for a few days. So I was like, okay, this sucks, but it's only a couple of days. Not going to be long, right? And you're looking for reassurance. I'm asking the guards, I'm asking the other prisoners. I'm like, they picked me up on some garbage. Why am I in here? And then you speak to a prisoner, he's like, I got picked up on garbage. I was like, what did you do? He goes, well, I bought and sold crypto, but they don't understand it. They don't get it. And they thought it was money laundering and they've just thrown me in jail. I was like, well, how long you been here? He goes, 2 years.
People always say when you get arrested, it's okay, you got money, you'll get out in a corrupt country. But Tate was jailed because of his fame. They don't want him out. And also, they're lucky to even have trusted people around him that can maneuver money because they're literally getting all their assets seized, his bank cards taken. They got to find creative ways to even keep their money afloat.
I was like, okay, that's not good. Then I spoke to another guy, 3 years. This is all pre-trial. 19 months, 16 months. And I was like, has anyone been to court? They're like, oh, no. Trial takes a long time in Romania. It takes 4 or 5 years. They're busy. So it's like, you're all just sitting here? We're like, yeah. So it was over time it started to seep in. And after my first night in jail, I had to go to a judge the next day to decide whether I'd be released in 24 hours, as I just was recently, or if I'd be held for 30 days. And when I got to court, my lawyer, who I trust absolutely, and I believe is the best lawyer in Romania, my lawyer said, I've seen the file, I've read the file. You're going home. I was like, really? He goes, yes, they are saying that you told your friends how to do TikTok and you stole money from the TikTok accounts and that it's human by coercion. And that's why they've taken all your cars and all your gold because that's all made from TikTok and they've stolen everything. But don't worry, we're going to clear this up. You're going home today. And I don't understand Romanian, but my lawyer gave a very impassioned speech to the judge.
He's about to really excel here. Tell me you're stupid without telling me you're really stupid.
It's funny, I actually have a feeling this case won't even go to trial, because when it goes to trial there has to be proper foundations laid against Tate and his brother Tristan, but there is nothing in this case of substance. That's why they're trying to still find stuff years later in this investigation. The Tate brothers have literally petty allegations against them right now. Don't get me wrong, they're being accused of serious things, but what is backing it up is absolutely nothing.
Impassioned speech to the judge, and I could tell the passion in his voice. And he was 100% confident, and the judge looked very receptive. She looked very receptive. She was like, okay, makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. The judge went to deliberate for about an hour, and I was sitting with my lawyer talking about how it's crazy they could even arrest me on something so silly. And we're talking about it, and about half an hour into this conversation, because I'm a professional, I said to my lawyer, but what happens if I do go to jail? And he goes, you won't. I was like, but what happens if I do? He goes, well, if you do, there'll be an appeal process, and after 30 days, you'll go to court again. And for some reason, when he said that, I knew. It's like deja vu. It was in my mind. I could see it. As soon as he said it, I looked at Tristan and I said, we're going to jail. He goes, no, we're not. I said, Tristan, we're going to jail. Judge came back out, sat down, 30 days preventive detention, boom, walks off.
So there you have it. These Romanians must be completely incompetent. It's mad letting him loose to roam the country like that. The guy is allowed to drive his supercars up near the borders of the country, go on dog sled rides near the borders. Absolutely crazy. If this continues, he will get away. It's just too easy. If you look at it from this angle, he can go anywhere. As we know, Russia is the end destination, but really he just needs to get out of sight long enough to lose whoever's following him. He can hide for as long as necessary, then make his way to Russia. Obviously, getting out of the country would be priority number one. Chances of any other country looking for him as intensely is slim. Also seems he is trying to lead the hunt north, so he's probably planning to do the opposite. Maybe a boat. The Turkey route looks promising, as Andrew could potentially use his Islamic sham one last time for safe haven and protection from people who also believe in an imaginary man in the sky. But as I've said, anywhere will do for now. One thing I can guarantee is that he wouldn't step foot in Ukraine after the things he's been saying. Again, check out part 1 if you haven't seen it. Should be on the screen now. Anyway, don't say you weren't warned, Romanian police. Anyway, that's it for this video. Chuck us a like, leave us a comment, get subscribed, or get f***ed. This has been Contraband. Thanks for watching.